Hey guys, it's Gus. And if you didn't know, the artifact call is arguably the most important part of a boss fight. If you mess it up, your team will lose millions of damage. If you do it right, you will take chunks of health off the boss, which is great. And if you care about where you place on the board, it will help you be at the top of the board for sure. But before we go in, let's discuss a couple things. This rotation utilizes Artificer's Persuasion, which I think is the most powerful insignia bonus in the game. It's a sleeper. A lot of people don't know it or don't know how to use it. In this rotation, it is 100% used. If I don't have it on, I won't be able to do the powers that I'm using in this rotation. The powers we're using, remember, this is for a hunter ranger. It probably won't apply if you're not a hunter ranger, but some of these um, techniques or ways of doing this artifact call may help out your class. So we're using Long Strider Gushing Wound. We're using Constricting Arrow Still Breeze, Hindering Strike, Hindering Shot, Aim Shot. And this is important. I have to describe why I'm doing this because I'm doing my daily somewhat weird. A lot of HRs, probably most HRs, use more than Disruptive, which is maybe probably better. But I use Slasher's Expertise to increase the damage I do in that 10 seconds. And what this does is when you use Slasher's Mark, your melee encounters get a 10% damage boost. So if I typically in an artifact call, you'll wait till the end of the artifact call to cast your mountain daily. The reason being is some artifacts like the Lantern of Revelation immediately puts the full debuff off up. So for 10 seconds you have the full debuff. But other artifacts like Demogorgon, the debuff keeps going up as time goes on. So if you wait till the end of the artifact call to do your mountain daily, you'll get the full effect of this debuff up. If you want to use Slasher's Mark and Slasher's Expertise and get the extra 10% on Gushing Wound, Still Breeze, and Hindering Strike, you got to do your daily towards the beginning of the rotation, unfortunately. Unless you have a better way of doing it, which if you do, please comment below. I'm always looking to improve. The other thing we're going to talk about is procs. If you do your artifact call immediately off the rip, like a lot of teams do, you're attacking with no procs on your chest piece, no procs on your helmet, no procs on your gloves, no procs on your Demogorgon set, or whatever pieces of equipment you're using where you get increased stats by attacking. So what I'm going to do, what I recommend groups do, is not immediately pop the artifact as soon as the boss appears. Attack for a few seconds, let the tank get aggro, then go full ape shit. Because when you do, if you have 5 stacks in your armor piece, when you do your slasher's mark, it's gonna have 15% more stats on it. That's great. You have 5% more, 5%, 8% more chance of it being a crit. You're gonna have 5% more damage on it because of the Demogorgon set. So you gotta wait and time your moves. So I do my daily towards the beginning of the rotation, but that's so I can utilize Slasher's expertise. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about each power that I'm using and why I'm using it. So we just come in, right? The tank, pretend I'm the tank. I'm going to get aggro and maybe turn the boss around. We all know at that point we can start going apeshit because the tank has established aggro. So while he's doing that, I'll use 3 powers. The first I'll use is Hindering Shot. And what that does is it puts that debuff on the enemy where my skills, not your skills, but my skills will do 10% more damage on him for 10 seconds, which is great. And you want to use your lowest encounter range power to activate that because you don't want to you want that 10% damage on your long striders and your constricting arrow, right? So you want to use Hindering Shot. Then you're going to follow it up with long striders. Then you're going to follow it up with I just said his name. I always forget his power. With Constricting Arrow. And the reason why you're doing Constricting Arrow after Long Striders is it procs Strong Grasping Roots, which reduces the cooldown of Long Striders by 10%, which has to be done in order for this rotation to work. Now we've done 3 ranged encounters. Next, you'd think we're going to do the artifact. We're not. We're going to use our Dragon Fire Breath. And if you have it, cool. It's in the battle pass. If you don't, that's fine. You can change up the rotation a little bit. But there's a weird property with this Dragonfire. A lot of people I don't think understand yet, and maybe I don't understand it. Thank you, Sarah, for giving me the term snapshot. So when I do constricting arrow, the damage off of roots will be 2-1, 3-2-1 every single time, regardless of how many debuffs pop or debuffs fall off. Because it takes a snapshot of the first one, and that's the one it will do the whole time. And most procs do that, as far as I know in this game. Dragonfire is different though. Dragonfire, I believe each tick is independent of the current debuffs at that particular moment. So if you cast Dragonfire 8 seconds to the artifact call, the next ticks for the next 2 seconds will get the full debuffs. But when those artifacts wear off, the next 8 ticks, the following 8 ticks will have 0 buffs on them. So what I prefer to do is to do it right before the artifact. That way each 10 ticks is getting full benefits of the debuffs going on, if that makes sense. So we're going to do our 3 ranged encounters, followed by our Dragonfire. Now we can do our artifact. Yay! So this you might agree or disagree with. I'm going to do 2 aim shots. 1, 2. Now I've done 5 powers. My 3 range encounters and 2 aim shots. Now I should have 5 stacks on my chess piece, 5 stacks on my Demogorgon set. You can do a third if you want, but I just do 2. Now I'm going to do my daily. I said it was going to be early in the rotation. I'm going to do my daily. Uh, then I'm going to do Gushing Wound. Then I'm going to do Steel Breeze. Then I'm going to do Hindering Strike. The reason why you do Gushing Wound before Hindering Strike is Hindering Strike procs Strong Grasping Roots and lowers the cooldown of your Gushing Wound by 10%. So even after the artifact call, you'll be able to use it again. And it's one of our hardest hitting powers in the game. So you want to use it as much as possible. So always use your Strong Grasping Roots power before your big, powerful encounters. Now we've done those 3 encounters. Now our 3 range encounters are back up. So we're doing 6 encounters back to back to back to back to back to back. So we'll do Longstriders again. Then we'll do I'm telling you, I always forget its name. I always want to call it Cordon of Arrows, but it's Constricting Arrow. Now, before I do the Hindering Shot, I'm not going to use the Hindering Shot. I'm going to use my Mount Power, and then I'm going to do Hindering Shot because we're right at the end of the 10 seconds. And the problem is you want to cast your Mount Power during the artifact call. But you're gambling. If you wait till the 10th second, you might be slightly off and you lose millions of damage if you miss it during the artifact call. So I'd rather gamble. I'd rather do it 2 seconds early than 1 second too late. I don't gamble with it. And then I follow that up with a Hindering Shot. And hopefully that Hindering Shot procs Prey again. That was a mouthful. So again, I'm going to tell you the moves. We're going to do Hindering Shot, Longstrider Shot, not Cordon of Arrows. I always forget his name. Constricting Arrow. So we're going to do Hindering Shot, Longstrider Shot, Constricting Arrow, Dragonfire, Artifact, Aim Shot, Daily, Gushing Wound, Steel Breeze, Hindering Strike, Longstrider's Shot, Constricting Arrow, Mount Power, Hindering Shot. Yes, 6 encounters, daily, Mount Power, and 2 at wills during this artifact rotation. Now I'm going to do a slow walkthrough. I'm not going to, I've already explained why and when we're using each power. Now I'm going to show you kind of what it looks like in real time. So we're going to do Hindering, Longstrider, Constricting, Dragonfire, Artifact, Aim Shot, Slashers, Gushing, Steel Breeze, Constricting or Hindering, Longstriders, that arrow move, I keep forgetting its name, Mount Power, Hindering Shot. Yes, you can do that all within a 10-second window. It is that powerful. I apologize. This has been plaguing me for years. I never remember the name of Constricting Arrow. I always want to say Cordon of Arrows, which is another power we have from that one. So it's Constricting. Now I'm gonna do it in real time, and hopefully I don't mess it up. And I forgot to mention because I assumed you know, as an HR, you're gonna be changing stances between every single power because we have rate of change, and you get a 15% damage boost. It's reduced by 2% every second until it's empty. So if you don't switch stances for 1 second, it goes from 15% damage boost down to 13% damage boost. Yeah, the only time I don't swap stances is between Steel Breeze and Hindering Strike, is because you can do them both in under a second, so you're not losing that rate of change. You're not losing that 2% from rate of change. Whew. Okay, let's see if I can do this without messing up. And where I usually mess up is when on the Dragonfire, because it has a really clunky thing. So we're gonna come here. Boss is starting. Tank's getting aggro. You're gonna do one, two, three, dun, dun, one, two, one, two. There, voila. All of that in a 10-second period. 6 encounters, a daily, a mount power, and 2 at wills. And don't forget, your Dragonfire is going the whole entire time as well. This is big damage. There's obviously more than one way to skin a cat. If you know a better way to do this or to improve this rotation, please comment below. Stay classy, Neverwinter. See you soon.